Steve Reeves and Mike O'Hearn. Now, I don't think it's possible to design two bodybuilders that would fit the mold for a superhero more perfectly than Steve Reeves and Mike O'Hearn. I mean, come on, these guys are a couple of supermen. Of course, Steve Reeves, he did play Hercules. Didn't he play Superman too? No, not to be confused with Christopher Reeves, although he had a good physique too. But nothing like Steve Reeves and Mike O'Hearn. This guy, he's dressed up as all the superheroes. Your your Incredible Hulks, your Supermans, your things of that nature. But I mean, when it comes to two bodybuilders and being handsome, which one of these two is more handsome? I'm sure most of you would see the name Mike O'Hearn and think, oh, click his name, he's the more handsome. I don't know about that. Have a look at Steve. Here's the front double. We'll be judging their physiques, although both of these two dudes, like I said, could be superheroes. Steve Reeves. Let's get this out of the way, guys. He was a bodybuilder back in the 1940s. 1940s, guys. Mike O'Hearn, he's somewhat of a modern day competitor. But the thing of it is, he is one of those guys that says he's natural. Not going to get into a whole thing. I like Mike O'Hearn. I'd like to be able to shake his hand someday. I don't want to, And Steve Reeves, he was around when, there was a little bit of juice floating around. And you can see this physique. I mean, it'd be hard to get a physique like this natural. I mean, you'd have to have top flight genetics. It's debatable that Steve Reeves' physique is natural. But he was the best physique around, so he probably did have some of the best genetics. Who's actually winning the pose? I think Mike, his legs, his wheels, the things that he walks on, I think they're much larger than Steven's. But Steven's upper body, wow, guys, take a look. The V-taper? I mean, come on, stuff of legend. Are either of these guys natural? Well, hard to say. Here's the front lat spread. Steve Reeves. These are mostly competition pictures for Steve, of course, but for the most part, Mike O'Hearn, he was your guest posing guy. Yes, he competed earlier on. Competed, I believe, in natural contests, natural federations. So when he's a guest poser, does he really have to be natural? No, so it doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter. But anyway, I seem to always find my way back to that little conversation, don't I? Steve's upper body, again. The V-taper, it would be too much for Mike O'Hearn. Now, yes, if it was actually being judged serious, they'd have a look at the type condition, the density, the muscle thickness of Mike O'Hearn, and they'd say, well, I mean, he's too much for Steve. But Steve was born when? In the 1920s? 26? January 21st? And I think Mike was born in 1969. Also January 26th. Ha! Beetle Bailey. Ha! That's funny. But either which way, shape-wise, Steve has his number. Absolutely. Here is the side chest development of both of these guys. And Steve, he just looks like just a kid here. He's just young. Very young. This is maybe even the middle of the 40s. Could be. He obviously got bigger and bigger, and he quit very young, so we never got to see the true potential. Ditto with Mike O'Hearn. Like I said, he continued on with his guest posings. With the guest posing, he looks fantastic. And when you do take the actual thickness and the density from the side, I mean, yeah. But these are not to be too serious. These are to display similarities, baby please, between these two legendary bodybuilders. Here's the back double by. And I can hear you guys now. But Mark's Max Muscle, you cannot call Mike O'Hearn a legend along with Steve Reeves. Well, in the grand scheme of things, they're both bodybuilders. Similar back developments, I would suggest. This is Mike. He's no spring chicken here, you guys know. Mike O'Hearn, he displayed a fantastic physique. Very I don't want to call him old, at a very non-young age. Steve, just like I said, in his 20s here. Look at the lines and things of that nature of Steve. No, Steve, unlike a lot of the guys back then, he bent at the knees quite substantially. He didn't bow them out. He just bent at the knees, and it probably made his legs look a little bit thicker. One of the taller guys back then. These guys both probably over 6 feet tall, I would suggest. So yes, you can't really take this one. Here is their classical shot. Both you guys hit a classical pose. The one that you like. This is a vacuum shot for Steve Reeves. So when you see a picture of Frank Zane hitting that vacuum shot, you can thank this man, Steve Reeves. Any of those aesthetically pleasing bodybuilders hitting those shots like this, hit those poses? Yes, you can thank Steve Reeves. Mike O'Hearn, he's good, guys. He gets some bad press. Says he's natural. Things that I never heard him say. I am natural. I've never taken. Well, he probably did. I don't know. But doesn't really much matter. Does seem to bother some guys. And Greg Doucette. But Greg gets a lot of content out of that. So, in the grand scheme of things, he probably enjoys the fact that Mike lies about his taking stuff. Well, I don't know if it's a fact or not. Could be. Pretty solid. Isn't it? Evidence! It's mounting. It's mounting. Steve Reeves, so was he natural? Come on, guys. There was some baseball player back in 1908, I think. Something of that nature. They were doing an experiment with steroids. So by the 40s, I mean, this physique of Steve Reeves could have been. Could this be natural? I mean, you take Ronnie Coleman's genetics, somebody like that. Yeah, I think you could. I think you could do it. You'd do it. Maybe not now, but they could do it later. Hit thumbs up on the video. These comparisons are a little bit foolishness. Pictures from the 60s. Pictures from the 40s, rather. And pictures from the 2000s. So, hit thumbs up. Subscribe. Have a great one.